Thank you for joining me today. I'm joined by Les Whiting. Les is the Chief Financial Services Officer at H&R Block. Les has had an amazing career across financial services and fintech, not only at H&R Block, but prior to that at Wave. Les, welcome.
Thank you, Eric. It's great to be here.
Maybe let's get started with just learning a little bit more about your journey to H&R Block, as well as what you've been up to there over the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, I guess I would start off by saying it's been an unconventional one. And it's an interesting journey of how I got here. I started my career in banking. I consider myself a reformed banker. I spent the most of my intersection of career was always around financial services and really technology. And, ultimately led me to into payments, where there was really a lot of innovation at that time happening in payments. The journey to Wave was really all about kind of going out there and testing, I think, the things that I'd been experiencing and seeing in the market, and seeing like, could I actually make a difference in solving these problems? And so, that journey really started in earnest back in 2011 with a company I was part of called Wave, which was really focused on helping micro small businesses have a better insight into how their business was running, and equipping with a set of tools that we ultimately, embedded financial services in, that allowed them to do the things they need to do to run the business. And there were tools that were built for them. But we very quickly realized there was an opportunity to embed financial services into these, cloud platforms that could empower small businesses to have a better understanding of how their business was actually running, and deeply embed financial services as a new way of distribution and a new way of monetization. And so we built that company over 10 years ago. We sold it to H&R Block 4 years ago, where I joined the team here, and really set out on a mission about how we can drive that innovation into H&R Block around what we could do around financial services.
And speaking of the mission, how does all of this tie into kind of the broader H&R Block mission?
Yeah, mission and purpose is always the why, as I like to call it, has always mattered a lot to me. At H&R Block, our purpose and our mission really is to help and inspire our clients and the communities we serve everywhere through the services and the products that we deliver. And when it comes to financial products, we're really focused on building a set of tools and capabilities that can help the average American, frankly, just have access to financial services that can help them be better with their money. And so we're well on our way of doing that.
Yeah, that's something we hold near and dear to our hearts as well. It's just making sure that consumers have, more choice, better solutions kind of tailored for their specific needs. When you think about all the success that you've had, all the innovation, Spruce in particular kind of comes to mind. I read somewhere that you guys now have 300,000 accounts, hundreds of millions, I think almost $1 billion worth of deposits. What do you think has driven that success?
Well, I think it all starts with just a relentless focus on the customer, and always, providing value, to the consumer. We really kind of stepped back and looked at, the things that we were doing, and said, what could we do differently? So H&R Block actually has been in financial services for, decades. At one point, we actually even owned a bank.
It's one of the great brands. I grew up in Germany, and I'd heard of H&R Block. So
right. The scale of H&R Block is one of the things that really attracted me as we thought about selling Wave to H&R Block, but also about taking on this new role, was just the scale that we could play at. Wave gave the ability to operate at internet scale. H&R Block allows us to operate sort of at a different scale. We've got 6,500 offices across the country. That's more than most of the large banks here in the US. We've got 60,000 tax pros that are hyper-focused in helping consumers at a time of need when they're filing their taxes, and often is usually one of the largest sort of financial events of the year, of getting the tax refund, of which 85% of our customers get a refund. And we knew that there was things that we could uniquely do to build products and services that would help those customers at a time when they're thinking about their finances, when they're thinking about where their money should go, and frankly, just leverage our distribution capabilities And so I think that is, has been the start about how we've been able to build a set of products that really resonate with the consumer and is seeing, strong growth in something that we're super pleased at.
I mean, you have a lot of advantages, and obviously I've had a lot of success with that, but it also opens up a whole new set of competitors.
Yeah, well, first off, I love competition. I think competition drives, innovation. It pushes you to be better. I think the reason why we've been able to be successful is, first and foremost, as you mentioned, the brand. People know and trust this brand. We've been around for, over 55 years. Customers come to us at a time of need when they're looking for help and financial advice. And then, we've got this unique ability and position, in some ways even a responsibility of sitting in the middle of $50 billion of tax refunds.
That's a lot of refunds.
It's a lot of refunds. It's a lot of zeros. And so if you think about it, for most neobanks, one of their biggest challenges is how do I reach these customers? We've already got this built-in distribution network that allows us to acquire customers at a very low cost of acquisition. Secondarily, we're able, right at the point of purchase, if you will, when you're filing your taxes and getting that tax refund, to help customers get that refund up to 6 days faster by just putting it into a Spruce account. And then, like any great, technology product, it gives us the opportunity for the customer to experience the tools and the features that we've built. And, we are seeing consistently cohort over cohort as we're advancing the product, the features and the capabilities in it, that it is resonating more and more with them. And that's, another reason why we're seeing the growth in the deposits. It's not just coming from the tax refunds, but it's coming from customers engaging with this product on a more regular basis and starting to use it as their preferred choice for where they bank daily.
That's an amazing success story. You've obviously been a Plaid customer for a very long time. In fact, you're the very first customer I ever met in person. I still remember when I joined Plaid 5 years ago. I got on a plane, I flew to Toronto. We were walking around outside and we kind of just randomly bumped into you before we were going to come see you the next day, which I will always remember. What has your experience been with Plaid over all these years?
We've been dealing with and partnering with Plaid for, I think, close to a decade now. One of the things that I value a lot is partnerships. And one of the things that I often talk with my teams about is that we don't have vendors, we have partners. We pick our partners very carefully. And then there are things that we do as great partners, and there's things that we expect of our partners. And I find when you really think of partnerships in that terms, you get the best outcomes. The partnership with Plaid came at a time when we were looking to launching a new product into the marketplace called bank payments at Wave. And we've been working with similar companies offering, similar types of solutions, but frankly had been dissatisfied at a bunch of different levels with them. And so we used Plaid really as a test to really prove out a lot of the claims that you guys were making. And what we found was in a partner that was incredibly responsive to the things that we were looking for, the speed and the performance of the product, the maniacal focus that I think we both share about the consumer experience and making things simple and easy to use. And, this bank product was nothing new in the market, if you will. It was essentially an ACH payments against an invoice. Others had tried it, but frankly, few had a lot of success with it. And, I believe very strongly that the great unlock was actually building a completely differentiated experience for that customer in how they would transact. And it really all started by the power of the Plaid link that at that point was starting to become ubiquitous across the internet. Consumers were familiar with it. And frankly, the performance of the product was incredible. And it was a massive success. To this day, about 17% of our, what we refer to as our GPV or our gross processing volume goes through bank payments. And so that's a huge success for our customers. And it's just another way of sort of leveraging the innovation. Over the years with Plaid, it's incredible to see the growth and the development that you guys have been under in terms of all the new products and services. And so both at Wave and now at Spruce, we continue to consume and use more and more of those about building, great solutions and great products. I think I've learned over the years of trying not to build everything. I think that was maybe some of the lessons learned in sort of some of my earlier, ventures, that find great partners that can help you scale quickly and really focus on your core differentiation with the consumer. As you know, we recently just launched into the Plaid core exchange, and it's something that we're super excited about because, this obviously gives our customers now access to use their Spruce accounts in all the different ways where Plaid is connected across the internet. And so that really strikes to things that matter, deeply to me around open banking and just access to great technology. So we're super excited about that. We launched this product probably 2 months faster than we thought we would in terms of what our product and engineers were telling us. And I got a text just a little while ago of like, hey, it's in production. And I'm like, how can that be? And, I quickly pulled up my phone and sure enough, I could see that, there was Spruce in the Plaid core exchange in the ecosystem. And, as I dug in and what happened? How did we do that? Something that I've consistently heard from teams over the years is that the technology is great. The team is fantastic to work with. The documentation is so well written that it just allows us to bring things to market quickly. And, those are things as a leader that you want to hear, that help you know that you're choosing the right partners. And so it's just another great example of a long partnership where we've been developing, I think, great products for consumers and continue to drive innovation in the marketplace.
I mean, I love hearing that. I mean, it's not enough to just build a great product. It has to be a great product that's also easy to use. And so hearing that you and your team are able to kind of use core exchange so easily, scale into it so quickly is fantastic. I know you've adopted many new Plaid products over the years. What are the ones that you're most excited about right now? I know CRA, cash flow underwriting, is one of the other areas that we've spoken about.
Yeah, well, we're super excited about the future. Spruce is still really a young product. It's been in the marketplace just a little over 2 years. So we're really just getting started. When we look at the health of the consumer, not only our data, but all the things that you're seeing from those in the Financial Health Network and the American consumer is really struggling and they need help. And, our purpose really is about, helping serve customers and, really building a set of tools and capabilities that will help them be better with their money. And so, we'll continue to be expanding across, the aspects of what great financial health looks like around spending, saving, borrowing, and planning. Today, we primarily focus around spending and savings, a little bit around borrowing. And so I think you're going to see us be doing more across the spectrum of financial health. We'll be doing that through sort of partnerships as well as new products we'll be bringing to market. So this year, we recently launched a new loan product called the Emerald Advance Loan. It's a short-term loan product. We launched it in November. We were able to actually acquire almost $400 million in new loans. These are short-term loans, small dollar loans, up to $1,300. So we saw tremendous demand from our consumers and from our customers. We offered this exclusively in our retail offices, actually a smaller subset of those 6,500 offices I mentioned earlier. And so we see a ton of potential about bringing this now digital. So that's work that we're undertaking right now. And in order to do that, that's where I think, again, our partnership will continue to grow and expand. So we're super excited about the work that you're doing within the CRA as being a regulated company. That's really important for us. So we were glad to see you make that step. And obviously going digital, really taking our traditional credit models that have clearly served us well, but being able to now augment those with cash flow underwriting is really going to help us take this to the next step that we know will be able to reach more consumers and probably be able to reach consumers that today we're unable to lend to them. At a time of need when the data is telling us loud and clear, customers need help, we're super excited to continue our partnership with you and keep growing.
And that's something we're very excited about as well. I mean, leveraging that cash flow underwriting data to kind of help consumers get better offers, better pricing, and kind of the role that you're playing in that obviously is very important. I think also plays in very well to all the other solutions that you're working on. And then obviously you have the brand and everything else to go with that, right? Like you're a natural entry point for consumers to go to kind of get access to these kinds of solutions.
Yeah, we're super excited. We think we've got a lot of capabilities and we're just getting started.
Well, wonderful. It's really, really nice to have you here, to be able to spend some more time with you. And I appreciate all your insights and thoughts. And of course, we appreciate you being such a long-standing Plaid customer.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Les.